What's up, John? How you doing? But weekend was good. Weekend was definitely good. Weather was beautiful. Got outside. What about you? Let's get some activity going here today. I don't want no boring stream. What's up, Cynics? Is that how you say your name? Cynics? Or yeah, Cynics? Snicks? Yeah, it was beautiful. I'm on the East Coast, New York. We had great weather. And everywhere has been just packed. I feel like just like the roaring 20s back in the 20s in the 1920. I feel like we're going to have a repeat of that. I mean, everyone is just going crazy. There's been lines everywhere. Cynics. What's up, Christian? How you doing? How was your weekend? Let's get some tunes going. Hmm. Everything is going well. Why can't I? There we go. All right, let's give it 1 minute for the rest of the people to get in here, and then we'll get started. What's up, Mario? Um, Everyone around here is out and about. Yeah, it's actually been crazy. I went out a bunch this weekend and the lines were just extremely long. The bars were packed. Restaurants were packed and thriving. Everyone just seemed like they were having a good time. It's been crazy. It's been awesome. It's good that we're getting over the virus. It's about time that we're moving past it. Um all right, let's get started. It's 8 o'clock. Does anyone have any questions before we get started? Not chart setups yet. We'll do chart setups at the end, like usual. But if you have any questions regarding really anything regarding technical analysis, I'd love to cover it and help you out regarding you know technical analysis, position sizing, risk management, whatever it is. So let me know if you have questions. Um, in the meantime, we'll get started with SPY and just go over the current market. So I just drew this pink trend line right from the bottoms back in March, um, and we've bounced multiple times. Let's see if I put the EMAs on. Um, yeah, so generally we've just been trending above the EMAs. These are the 8 and 21 EMAs, and we are on the daily. Um, so generally, we've just dipped below the EMAs here and there, right? Like here, 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 and we just did it again. And now we're trending back to the upside. Um, so as long as we hold above this trend line, um, I think we'll just continue riding up. If we take a closer look, so we had this wave one, wave two, wave three, four, five, a little ABC correction, right? EMA started to cross, but we held bullish. Now we just had a wave one, two, three, four, right to that 21 EMA, and now we're moving back to the upside. So my target for this week, if we do, if we have no news or anything, is going to be 427.95 or 428, right in this region. Doesn't have to be perfect. My target is 427, and how I got this target, I'll just go over that quickly. You could see the line I drew right here. So from the bottom, wave one to wave three, back down to wave four. And the 618 is generally a wave five target, or you can always take the box, right? Go like this, drag it from the bottom of wave four, right? Somewhere around there. And it lines up very, very closely. So my target is around 428. So wave five is going to go to the 618 or the 1. If it goes to the 1, that would be a 435 target, which lines up perfectly. I'm not going to go over a complex correction. How do I calculate the target? I just went over that. I hope you just heard what I said. So the fib extension from wave 1 to wave 3 back down to wave 4, and generally a wave 5 goes to the 618 or the 1. So I'm just showing the safer side target, which is around 428. Okay, so my target to the bull side is 428. We really need to hold this level right here, 420. We need to hold 420, blaze it. You know what I'm saying? So if we can hold over 420, that would be ideal, right? We have one rejection, another rejection, right? We broke through, but we held, and now we're back above. We held it nice on this candle right here. Yeah, it's fine. I'm just playing with you guys. Yeah, I'm just joking. So my target is 428. Okay. Any questions regarding that? Let me know. When buying calls, how far out do you usually look? Depends what kind of trade I'm looking to enter. If I'm doing a scalp, I'll just do a weekly. If I'm looking to do, it really just depends. If I'm looking to play a setup, like for example, last week Snapchat, I don't remember when we entered. I think we entered off this candle. And I knew this was going to be a longer term setup because I wanted to swing a couple days. And the retest was highly likely, and it did retest perfectly, right? We broke out, retested before moving back to the upside. So I bought 3 weeks out. It really just depends on what type of setup you're playing. And yeah, but if I'm swinging, if I want to do a week swing, I'll probably buy 3 to 4 weeks out, just so I don't have to worry about time, right? If we do get a little pullback, I really don't have to worry if I buy 3 to 4 weeks out. You charted Twitter, it has a gap. I'll go over Twitter. I'll go over chart request later. Okay, covered all the questions. If you have any more questions, let me know. QQQ. So kind of similar setup. A lot of sideways price action, right? It's like a roller coaster. And we're approaching the highs again. So we're approaching a very significant point in this chart. Right? If I draw that line, 342.23, right? We have 1 rejection, 2 rejection, and we are approaching it once again. So we have a wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4. The wave 5 target is this 618, which we just hit, right? We just broke through it. So the next target above is if we break through 342.23 and 342.80, which is the all-time high of the triple Q, 348 is going to be my target. Right? And we're uptrending right now. So let's just continue to play the uptrend. Once we have a short signal, then that's when you should play puts. But ride the wave, right? The trend is your friend. So if we can push through, my target's 348. You've lost money getting calls too close and too high to strike, and also have left money on the table when coming into profit. Yeah. I mean, you can never be perfect, so just understand that. But if you want to do a swing trade, buy about, what was I going to say? Oh, 3 to 4 weeks out and about 10 to 20% out of the money, depending on the ticker, right? If it's a volatile ticker like Tesla, you're going to want to buy a little further out of the money. If you're going to buy something like SPY, right, you're going to want to buy something closer to the money. So for example, SPY, if I wanted to swing trade this, I'd buy like 2 weeks out. What's today? Today's the 13th. Maybe beginning of July. I don't remember what contracts we're going. Beginning of July, like a 430, something like that, or even like a 428 call. That way, it's a possibility of being in the money by the time expiration comes around. No, I mean, there's no reason for a major correction right now, right? Unless some news comes out, I don't think there's a reason for a major correction. Also, if everyone keeps saying that the market's like super overextended, if I go back to like whenever, right? So this is, where are my dates? This is 2016 to 2018. Look at the market, right? So it looks like the exact same thing. The market just always looks like it's overextended. And if you haven't been trading for a long time, you probably don't know that. Like this is back in 2014, 2013, right? How many times do you think people right here were like, this is the end? And it just continues to go up, right? The market's meant to go up, right? This music just got way louder. Oh, my family is using my Spotify. I'll turn it off. We share accounts. What the heck? All right, give me a second, guys. Sorry about that. The market always looks like it's overextended. So I just really wouldn't worry too much until we see signs of a correction. Right, if we start to see it, then we'll act on it. But for now, we're moving to the upside and make the trend your friend. Are monthly or weekly chains more preferable? Can you clarify? I don't really understand your question. Let's go over IWM. This is a great chart. Yeah, as high as they were pre-pandemic. Yeah, they're people are betting on future performance for the cruise lines, and they're reopening, so people are bullish. We'll see what happens. I mean, of course, some things are going to be overextended, but just people are like scared, and you should never be scared, right? Always have a backup plan. Always be a risk first trader. You've heard me say it a million times. This is just a classic breakout retest, right? We have this resistance point right here. We break out, we retest right to that 8 EMA, and we see some more upside. We've reclaimed this level right here, 230.95. So if we can hold this 230.95 level, we're easily going to test 233.64. And then over that, we obviously have the highs, 234.53. right? Anything under 230.95, we could potentially come back down to these levels right around here and retest this. Is small cap somewhere a good line of thought? I didn't really. I mean, maybe that's definitely a possibility. This could totally look how long it's been consolidating small caps. Um, so this could totally be a small cap summer for sure. When you look at option chains, some strikes different price, but not always how I would expect them to, and it's usually the difference of them being either weekly or monthly. Yeah, monthly contracts are going to be way more expensive because you have more time. Um, it's kind of like buying insurance. Like let's say life insurance. Let's say I'm a life insurance company and I have two people come in. One person that's obese and has many health problems. That would be, for example, a weekly option, right? It's super volatile. It's very risky. It's going to be very expensive and all over the place. Or no, it's not going to be expensive. It's going to be a little cheaper because it's close to the money and the probability isn't very high. Um, Versus a fit person that comes in, right? It's the plan's going to be cheaper. I don't know if that's a good example or not. It sounds pretty good to me. How often do you listen to people on Twitter? Seems like so many. I never listen to anyone on Twitter. Never. I look at the charts that people post and I do my own analysis on them. I like seeing other people's opinions, but always make your own opinion. Always. Right? Take everything with a grain of salt. Not everyone knows what they're doing. And even if they do know what they're doing, um, right? Everyone makes mistakes. So always take everything with a grain of salt. If someone is saying, I'm the best, that's just, don't listen to them, right? We all have our good and bad weeks. We all go on streaks. We all have our losing and winning streaks. So just take everything with a grain of salt. Best thing I've learned here: if I go into every trade defining my risk, even if I lose, I survive another trade. Exactly. SK, that's a perfect example of being a risk first trader. When I first started, I'd always think about, oh, I can make this much, I can make this much money. It's not about that. It's about how much you can lose. If you focus on how much you lose, you'll lose less and you'll win more. It's amazing, right? So you want to focus on percentages as opposed to dollars every trade, right? Aim for 15, 20% a trade. Don't worry about, money. If Also another big mistake, I was always trading based off my profit and loss. I don't know if anyone's done that before, but that was a huge issue I had when I first started. I would My contract would be down 30 to 40% and I'd sell because, right, everyone always says have a stop loss at 20, 30, 40%, whatever. And then the chart would bounce right back and go into the green after I sell it, right? Every single time. That's always what happened to me when I first started. Um, but once I stopped looking at my profit and loss during the trade and just trade based off strictly technical analysis, um, I improved tremendously, right? So just like my calls last week, I called out Snapchat and PayPal. Um, they were both down 30 to 50% at within the first 1 or 2 days, and then they ended up coming back, right? I never sold because the setup still looked good. PayPal, we took a 50% win, and Snapchat went over 100% from down 50%. Um, so that's just an example of patience pays, and I sized right. I wasn't freaking out because I put my whole entire account into it. I only had like 3 or 4% of my account into the play. Um, so it's a bunch. It takes a long time to learn, but you know, just you'll make mistakes. I still make mistakes, and you got to learn from them. Yeah, so you have problem based on trading profit and loss. So size smaller, and once you enter the trade, don't even look at your account. Just look at the chart. That should help you. Size a little smaller, and when you enter the trade, do not look at your account. Just look at the chart. Right? There's really no reason to look at your account because you know if the chart's going down, it's going to go down. But you just got to play off the technicals. You were gonna leave. They didn't bounce back. Yeah, I mean, it's you got to size right. This is a long term game. Um, let's go over some more setups. Okay, Snapchat. We had that 100% win last week. I do think we see. Excuse me, I have to burp. we do. I do think we're going to see some more continuation. We are breaking out of this long term consolidation. We have this inverse head and shoulders, right? Left shoulder, head, right shoulder. Right shoulder's higher than the left. That's bullish to me. 821 EMA cross back on May 24th. RSI, stochastic RSI, we're getting that bullish cross. We're approaching a heavy resistance zone. Lot of supply here, right? One or two rejections there, another one here, another one here, another one here, rejection here. But we're breaking out. We retested already, bull flag or falling wedge, whatever you want to call it, and we broke out. So I think we see some continuation. If we can get over 65, I think we see 67, and then probably all-time highs 73. So definitely watching this week. Look how similar these look, right? So Snapchat looks like this, and Shopify looks like this. So major support line, major resistance line we broke through. We flagged on the retest, right? We retested multiple times. This 382, we bounced right off, right? So from the low to the high, we bounced right off the 382. Bullish, definitely very bullish. And I'm looking for a breakout this week. If we can break through this 1247 level, which we're right at it, we close right at it. I think we'll see 1278. Over 1278, take a look at this. Over 1278, we have a huge gap to fill. I mean, we do have that resistance point at 1300, whole number, psychological resistance as well. So that's going to be a big level. But over that, we have a gap from 1330 to 1360. I think if we break through this 1278 level, we'll test 1360. This is going to be a great trade when it happens, and I'm calling it right now. It's going to happen. So keep this on your watch list. This is going to be a massive trade when it happens. Not saying it's going to happen this week, right? We might break out, come back down, and retest, back to the 382. But if we can break through 1300, I really think this is going to be a sick trade. Roku. So predicted perfectly. Nice falling wedge on the daily. Very, very big falling wedge. Right, we break out. We retest as always right to the 382. Right, fibs are drawn from here to the highs, and the 382 is we bounce right off of it perfectly. And now we're approaching this resistance again, 356. We had a double top right here, right? One and two rejections. Take a look at the volume profile, right? We have a heavy demand, or supply, I should say, right? We have multiple rejections across the board. So it's going to be a little tough to get through, but once we get through, I think we retest these levels right here, right? Old support became a new resistance, 383, and then higher. Okay. Yeah, this is a very, very nice setup. This is a 1-2. If we could see 3, my target's 460. Let's go over to Zoom. Oh wow, Christian, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Shop contracts are expensive though, aren't they? Yes, they are expensive. Um, and I don't suggest the small account playing it. Um, yeah, they are expensive. I'll probably go 2 weeks out. Um, it's June 13th. Let me take a look at the contracts quickly so I can, give you some insight. Christian, again, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Um, Let me take a look at Shopify quick. So if we break or if we hold this 1247 level, I'll consider, you could even do a weekly. A weekly is a little sketch. But on a Monday, a weekly's fine. Maybe a 1300 call for Friday, which is only 600. It's only $700. Um, so if you have a medium sized account, I would say you could play that. Right, a 1300 call for Friday, June 18th, or June 25th. I would consider. I'd probably do a 1300 call also, which that's about 1500. So you get an extra week for another 700-800 bucks. Um, yeah, they're expensive, but it is what it is. What are we on? We're on Zoom. So Zoom looks very similar to Roku, right? Large falling wedges, and we're breaking to the upside. So I'm just looking for some continuation here. These fibs that I drew are just from the highs to the lows. I think since we just broke this, we could potentially get a retest before moving higher, right? We have a heavy resistance level right here that we just broke through. So a retest is normal. So I think we retest this 236 level before moving higher and test this 382 level at 394. So I'll wait for a retest first. If not, then I'll probably stay away from this. I don't like playing in the middle. I like catching the breakout. But I think this could test 394. Okay. Let me answer some questions. Any thoughts on crypto mining stocks like Riot and Mara? I'll go over those. I can go over those after I cover these setups. Yeah, they do have low volume. They're not very liquid. So that's the problem with shop. You're gonna get if you get in, you'll probably be down instantly, which is a very big turnoff. Um, but if this catches on and people start getting involved here, spreads are gonna start to narrow down a little bit. What are we on? AMD, I think. So AMD still following this trend line, right? Back from October of last year. We bounced right where expected. Um, we also had a head and shoulders that didn't work out yet, at least, right? We have that left shoulder, head, right shoulder, and the neckline across the board, right? We had the fake out before the rip, right? So a dip before the rip, classic. But now we are flagging, right? We have a classic bull flag. So if we break out above, and if we see over, right, the high 82.91, I think we'll rip up to, this candle right here, around 89. 89.20. But if we break below, this is a great, another great trade to the downside, below 79.70. We'll test this level first and then some other significant levels down low. But this is getting tighter and tighter, right? So I think we're going to rip one way, whichever way it is. It's going to be a good trade. Airbnb, watching this because we are getting tighter. It looks like we have put a bottom in above the low. And if I go to the smaller time frame, right, we're kind of creating a triangle, falling wedge, bull flag kind of pattern, right, something like that. You could do it like that. I mean, it really just depends. Um, we're starting to break out here. And if I go back to the daily, I think we'll retest this 152.70. And if we do, we should shoot up right to 160.190, right? There's not much supply right here. So I think we'll retest that wick as well as that previous support for Airbnb. Let's go to Lulu. Lulu's another one that's kind of interesting. We're starting to break out here. Heavy resistance, right? Pink trend line, and a nice support. We just had an 821 EMA cross, and we're looking to break out of this wedge or symmetrical triangle, whatever you want to call this. If we break out here, 347, which is that resistance point, that's my first target, and above, we have 358. So this could be another great trade. Keep this on your watch list. Keep this on your eye. This is a great risk to reward setup, right? This is invalidated below 331. PayPal still looks good for sure. Lulu, I like. Tesla, maybe this week, maybe next week, but I'm just going to show the chart one more time. We are getting very close to the end of this triangle. We're getting, right? We're creating lower highs and higher lows, which is an indication, I should say, for a big move. And I'm just waiting for it, right? I'm waiting for this 821 EMA cross to the upside, and we'll rip out and hopefully retest 900 to 1,000. If this is an A, B, C, D, E, right? A, B, C, D, E, we'll see a rip up and then one more pullback down before going higher. So just remember that's definitely a possibility. Dash, I think this is like an under the radar play that I found. I don't really think anyone's looking at this, or not that I've seen. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder, heavy resistance right here, which we are approaching it. So over 155.50, I think we'll shoot right up to 167. That could be a great weekly play. RSI cross moving to the upside, building up. This could be a great play. Dash over 155.50. We'll see what happens. Right, bounce right off the 0.5, measured from the low to the high, right off the 0.5. Bullish, like it. Apple, very similar to Tesla, right? We're creating lower and lower highs and higher lows. We're getting tighter and tighter. 821 EMAs are about to cross. Bullish signal on the daily. We're kind of flagging here a little bit. It's not very clean. I'm not going to cover that. This looks good. If we can break this multiple top right here, 128.30 within that region, I think we break out of this triangle and move higher. So keep Apple on your watch list. I would consider 3 to 4 weeks out and swing trade it. Swing trading is my old strategy. That's what I used to do for the last 5 years until COVID happened, and I just started scalping because the market was crazy. But swing trading is what got me into trading. Also, this one is a great setup that I don't think anyone's looking at. Twilo. This looks electric. Another huge falling wedge. This looks like Zoom and Roku before it happened, right? Tell me that's not Roku or Zoom before it happened. Right, Twilo. This looks electric, right? 821 EMA cross. We first it rejected. Now we're about to cross. We're breaking out. If we can break through 342, 342 is a significant level. Why? Right? Rejection here. And this rejection here. So old resistance acts as new resistance or new support. So I think we're going to break through, and we also have a little gap to fill right here. I think we could rip the 358. So keep this on your eye. We had a full A, B, C, D, E correction. E bounced right off the 0.5. So really like this setup. HD. Remember when HD ripped up? Now I think it's off people's radar. We got a falling wedge here. We got a nice falling wedge. So we're starting to break out. I think, can move this red line. If we can break out here and test, right, somewhere around here, that previous support or this resistance, I think this 314 level would be my entry, right? We'll probably retest that EMA. If we could break through the EMA, that would be nice. And rip out of here. Falling wedges are my favorite setup. Take a look at that MACD and the RSI. I mean, this is primed. I'm going to set an alert. Alert is set. I'm also going to set an alert below. Okay. Falling wedges provide great risk to reward setups. That's why they're my favorite, right? You enter here, your target is usually the top of the wedge. So, and your stop loss is right below the bottom of the falling wedge. So you're risking a little to win a lot. That's why falling wedges are my favorite. Yeah, the chart looks good. Also, Activision. First of all, video games have been hot. Not going over fundamentals though. Technicals, we are at a multiple top across the board, right? We also have a triangle, these white lines, triangle, breakout, retest back to the upside, pink trend line, we're bouncing off it consistently. Over 98.48, which is this multiple top resistance point. Will fly. We also have a gap to fill, right? This gap right here. Tiny gap, but a gap is a gap. Okay. What's up, Chris? 99.82 to 159. Tiny gap, but a gap is a gap, and they do fill. So I like it. Activision, I feel like no one's talking about, and those are the good setups. So if we see some unusual options activity, I'm hopping in that ASAP. Okay. All right. So the two Daft wanted me to go over like Ride or Mara. Let's check it out. Let's delete everything. So first things first, let's just plot out some resistance points. Let's see. So if you do it like that, right? 1.23, fake out, 4, 5. That's a breakout if you did it like that. Or you can always go like that. It's tough to know where to draw it. YouTube or Twitch streamers are talking about it. Yeah, I honestly don't even know. How do I find all my setups? I just go through every ticker. Just make a list, or just go through, or go on FinViz. I have a video on how to find setups on FinViz with setups. If you want to do that, Josh. Finviz.com, FINVIZ. Put in your criteria, and you could search for specific technical patterns. What do I like here? Let's take the fibs, see what's going on here. So ideally, this wants over the 382. Um, I probably wouldn't touch this to the 382, right? We are in an overall downtrend. So once we break that 382, I think this will turn bullish. Let's check out Mara. Oh, yeah. I haven't looked at this in a long time, right? I had my whole analysis here. 821 EMA, uh, they're about to cross, so that's a bullish signal. Um, this blue line that I had here, 2957, I think I'd wait for that, right? One area of support, another area of support, another area before it fell right through. So this was a major area of support. Um, so it needs back over this, right? A breakthrough and a retest before moving higher. Of course, Josh. Um, PayPal, I know crypto wanted to see that, or you said it looks good. It definitely looks good. I think it's going to test 277. That's my target. We'll see some continuation to 277, which is this double rejection right here. The smaller time frames, right? We were just moving right off of this trend line, right? A nice dip before the rip every time. What else? What else? ASML. This thing's in rippy mode, huh? There's no patterns or here or anything here. Um, this is just straight up. I don't even think I've ever looked at this. I mean, this just really needs to hold above. I don't know what you're trying to play here, a scalp or a swing. But it needs to hold above 675, 65, that high right there. Um, and I would just play a breakout, right? A weekly breakout, a weekly call breakout play of 704.78. TSM. This looks good. This looks very good. Right? We have that. Um, and then we have the little flag. Right? If I go to the smaller time frame, check that out. This wants up. So if this can break that 120 level, this should move higher. This is a decent chart. I think it will test this level right here, 127. See if I can get that. Yeah, there we go, 127.40. Thoughts on DocuSnow, Amazon, and also with Juneteenth being next Saturday. What plays do you see? Picked up U1 last week. I know Will Mead's all over U1. Let's check out the charts. I know it did run on last Juneteenth. Yeah, look, holy crap. I think it ran to like $50. I mean, it could happen again. There's a lot of people pumping this. So it just needs to stay over 1934. And this is actually very bullish, right? We broke through. We just retested this level. That's bullish. It's very, very bullish, right? The support has been held. Docu. Haven't looked at these in a while. DocuSign. So let's go on the daily. This just had a nice run. I mean, here again, right? We have this resistance point. We break through, we retest, and move higher. So it's definitely a bullish move. I mean, your next levels above are, I would just, look at these previous resistance points. 262 and then 275. Christian wants to see Twitter. So here's my Twitter setup. It bounced exactly where I had it, which is awesome to see. Okay. So we have a bottom here, and we've seen a nice uptrend. We just had an 821 EMA cross, so it's bullish. We also have this gap here from that earnings. Wasn't as good as people expected. RSI and MACD are a little high, so be cautious of that. Right? Don't just trade off indicators, but always use it as a cautionary thing. I mean, if it can break the previous high of 61.05, I think it should test 64. This 821 EMA cross, I trust the most. So as of now, this is bullish. And I do think to see some more upside, right? Because QQQ also, if we go over that again, I think that tests 348. So I think tech sees, if we can break through, only if we could break through that top of 342. If we reject 342, tech is gonna do very bad. But if we break through, tech should run, and that should help. What are we covering? Twitter. We were covering Twitter. That should help Twitter a lot if QQQ runs. Amazon. Amazon had a sweet run. We had a great wedge here. This was a bear flag. So this is a great example of a bear flag not working out. Right? Upside down pole, flag, and we broke to the upside. This was a fake breakout to the downside. So many people probably got caught here. We just had an 821 EMA cross, so it's very bullish. And we're right at a major point. Look at, so this line right here is the current price. We have one rejection, two rejection, multiple rejections right here. So we are at a pretty major resistance here. So if we can break through, hold above, retest, and move back higher, that would be ideal. But it's always normal after a move to consolidate sideways. So maybe some more consolidation before we move higher, but I do think we move higher. 8 and 21 EMA right here. 821. Snap already broke out. But over 65, I like it to move higher. NCTY. Look, I love the 821 EMA cross, bullish. I like that it just broke through that dip right there, right? That previous support acted as a new resistance, but it broke through. It found some strength. MACD moving to the upside, bullish. Take a look at this volume, very unusual volume. The last time it had volume like this, right? It ran up, pulled back before launching to the 90s. It went up 500% from here, basically. So, patterns tend to repeat themselves. So if we get a rip, the next level above is going to be this level right here, 2630, right? Rejected here, rejected here. So I think if this breaks 2630, I don't see why not. Why we can't retest up here. I don't know what this is. I don't know what they do. I don't know why this shot up like that. But that would be, yeah, definitely possible. Can you take a look into Neo and get your opinion if it broke out Friday? Some Europe news. Sure. Let's check it out. Take a sip of water quickly. Okay. I haven't looked into Neo in a while. Neo, a couple stocks I just stay away from. Neo, Fubo, PLTR, JMIA. RKT, all like those Wall Street bet stocks that everyone just thinks is going to continue to go up. I mean, I'm not saying they're not going to go up, but I just stay away. They're very manipulated. 821 EMA cross. We just broke this major resistance, 43.22. Next level above, right? That high right there, and it rejected perfectly. So it needs over 46.29. I do like it, right? I like to trade with the trend. We are moving to the upside. We just had a cross. And I have my levels here. 47, 49. This really needs to hold 43. So if this can hold 43, I like it. But also take a look at the MACD and the RSI. Don't make that a trade based off those indicators, but always use it as a precaution. Be precautious about it, or cautious about it. 44.50 to the 45 range. Yeah, this is a tough level. Take a look at the volume profile. So there's a lot of supply here, right? It's a lot of consolidation. But if it does break above, and this breaks above 49.50 region, I think this will retest up here for sure. I have to look at this and do like the Elliott wave on it. I can't do that right now. It takes a long time because you always have to start from like the beginning to see where you are. Oh, it's a mining company. Okay. Crypto mining. That's why it launched. No options for TREX. I just checked. We'll have to buy the stock. Piton. Sure, John. So, again, so the 821 EMA cross, it's great for direction. It's a bullish signal that basically identifies whether or not you're going to be uptrending or downtrending. Right below is generally a downtrend, right? Like so here, for example, the 8 EMA, which is the blue line, crossed down to through the 21 EMA. So that's a bearish sign. And see how it consolidated for a little bit before dropping. So that was the signal right there to sell, right? That's a bearish signal. And here's a bullish signal, right? 821 EMA cross. We came off of a downtrend. We had a nice cross here, and we ripped back to the upside. So it's just an example of how that works. It doesn't always work, right? For example, here, we crossed up and came right back down. Let's take a look at the EMAs. So EMAs 382 we're approaching. We're also approaching this resistance. So it's funny how these EMAs work. They work very well. A lot of algorithms use Fibonacci levels. So over the 382, which is a 114.98 level, my target's 125. I would just play the fibs right off of this. Yeah, I would just play the fibs here. So I would do swing trades and play the fibs. That's exactly what I would do. All right. 850. Any last questions about trading? Not charts. I like answering questions about trading. That way, I can have more of an impact on you guys. And hopefully improve your trading as opposed to just giving you a setup, if that makes sense. Any last questions? Of course, John. Hope that helped. Apple to 131. Um, there is no gap fill to 131. A gap is something like I know Twitter has a massive gap like that, a gap in the chart. Um, Favorite EMA cross to watch for weekly breakouts: 821 EMA, 821 on the daily. Um, on the weekly, yeah, on the weekly is great as well. Tesla just had one to the downside, which is kind of bearish. That might be the first bearish cross on Tesla ever on the weekly. Yeah, look, we've never had an 821 EMA cross on the weekly. We just had the first one. So, I mean, this could totally rip to the downside, and my targets are right here, 440 or 315. Bull trade cloud is a great indication of trend, right? So green is to the upside, and red is a beginning of a downtrend, which it's signaling on the weekly downtrend. It just helps you identify what kind of trend we're in, and that's really the best way to use it. So it's a strat that goes into options first. Love that, honestly. I keep my options. I don't know if I've told anyone this. I keep my options account at the same amount of equity every month. Any profits I make, I take out and I put it into my long-term portfolio, and I just add to my positions. Um, this way, I don't get stupid with extra money in my options account because options are very risky. Um, so, for example, let's say I have a $100,000 options account. Just an example. Every 15 to 20,000 I make, which is right 20%, $20,000, I would transfer that into my long-term portfolio and put that into my long-term stocks, right? Mutual funds, um, ETFs, whatever it is, and then I put a small amount into like small caps and aggressive plays. Um, Option saving. Yeah, I mean it's really up to you. It's really up to your income, your age, your risk tolerance, and what you want to do. But I this has worked for me, and I'm going to continue it. Okay. Any last questions? Uh, 6 years, maybe seven at this point. It might be seven now. Um, yeah, September. September will be 7 years. So coming up on the big seven. Appreciate it, Goldman Sachs. All right. Tips for portfolio under 1,000. I'll tell you one thing, and it's tough. You need to. It depends on what this $1,000 means to you, right? If you have a $1,000 account that you don't care about, then I would say take big positions and try and grow it quick to to 2,000, 3,000, or 4,000. But if this is the only $1,000 to your name, I honestly wouldn't even trade options. I would just trade commons, or stocks, buy stocks with good setups and swing trade if you have an under $1,000 account. Um, yeah, I wouldn't even trade options if you have $1,000 to your name and this is all you have. And if you lose 1,000, it's going to be very emotionally disturbing to you. Then I would not trade options. I my first trade, I had $140 to my name. I put it into an option play, and somehow this I got so lucky. I turned that into like over $1,000, and then that's what started my love for stocks and the stock market and options. I 10 times my money, and then I grew that into 5,000, 10,000. And this wasn't just luck. I mean, the first trade was totally luck, but I literally sat down, studied like for like a year straight on this stuff, and I still study it to this day. 7 years later, I read and practice every single day. Um, just a YOLO 1K. All right, yeah. If you just have a YOLO 1K, then um, if you have $1,000, take about I don't know. I don't want to give you a number. Like $200 to $400 on options, and take scale out. Make sure you scale out. Don't just wait for a number, and sell it all. Always scale out and scale in. Um, yeah. All right, guys. I will see you tomorrow. Let's make some money. Um, Remember, be a risk first trader. Don't lose more than you can make. All right.